In the summer of 1859, America and the British Empire came within one gunshot of war. Not over land, not over money, over a pig that ate the wrong potatoes. I know how that sounds. Stay with me, because the end of this story isn't funny at all. San Juan Island sits in the water between Seattle and Canada. In 1859, it held sheep, fog, American farmers at one end, and a British sheep farm at the other. On the morning of June 15th, a farmer named Lyman Cutler walked out of his cabin and found a large pig in his garden, calmly eating his potatoes. It wasn't the first time. Cutler had complained for weeks. The pig had shown no sign of caring, so he fetched his rifle and shot it dead. The pig belonged to an Irishman named Charles Griffin. Cutler, immediately embarrassed, went over and offered him $10 for it. Griffin said the pig was worth $100. $100 in 1859 was a small fortune for a pig. And when Cutler protested that the animal had been eating his potatoes, Griffin gave one of the finest replies in history. "It's your own fault," he said, "for planting potatoes where my pig likes to walk." Cutler refused to pay, so the British threatened to arrest him and try him on British soil. And that is when everyone discovered the problem. Nobody knew whose soil it was. 13 years earlier, the two countries had drawn their border by treaty. The line would follow the middle of the channel out to the sea. But there were two channels, one on each side of the island. Britain read that treaty and saw a British island. America read the same words and saw an American one. Both were right. Then a pig ate a potato. The settlers begged for protection. Their plea reached the American General William Harney, who had waited his whole career for a reason to fight the British. He sent an officer named George Pickett to take the island. He sent him with 66 men. 66 men against the most powerful navy on earth. Pickett knew what that meant. If the British came ashore, every man with him would die, and those deaths would pull both nations into war. He shrugged and told them they'd make a Bunker Hill of it. Pickett wanted to fight. Britain sent warships. America sent more soldiers. By August, 461 Americans with 14 cannon were dug in at one end of the island, staring at 5 British warships, 70 guns, and 2,000 men. The British could have swept them into the sea in an afternoon. Then the governor gave his order: land the Marines, remove the Americans by force, and his officers refused. Captain Jeffrey Hornby would not fire the first shot. Then Admiral Robert Baines arrived, looked at his fleet, looked at the Americans, and looked at the reason all of it was happening. He would not, he said, involve two great nations in a war over a squabble about a pig, and he kept his Marines on their ships. 2 men, holding orders they had every right to obey, quietly decided the world could keep going. Both governments were horrified and agreed to share the island. For 12 years, the two garrisons lived at opposite ends of it, trading whiskey and competing over who threw the better Christmas party. In 1872, a German emperor settled the border and gave the island to America. Not one man was killed. The only casualty was the pig. Now remember George Pickett, the man who was ready to watch 66 soldiers die on that beach. 4 years later, he was a general in the Civil War, standing at the edge of a field called Gettysburg, ordered to march his men uphill, across open ground, into enemy cannon. That time, nobody refused. 12,000 men walked into that field. About half never walked out. We still call it Pickett's Charge. So the pig war was never really about a pig. Wars aren't caused by pigs or potatoes or badly written treaties. Those things are always there, always waiting. A war begins the moment one man decides to fire, and peace holds every time someone decides not to.